Today I want to come on here and make a video that is almost informational and kind of teaching y'all a little bit about the game, an issue within the game, and hopeful that EA will patch it this year, maybe next year, worst come to worst, because I believe this was in the game last year as well. And we're going to talk all about it. If y'all do enjoy the content, make sure to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate y'all boys. And let's hop into this video. So today, what I want to talk about is certain teams and certain programs. It all depends on your prestige as well. I think like when your prestige go up, sometimes you end up getting less recruits, if that makes sense. And it shouldn't make sense like that, but that's the way it seems like this game work. And certain teams really suffer from this, and I really don't know why. At first I thought maybe it's teams in bad locations, but even teams in good locations still do not have recruits interested in them to start the year. So that's what this video is kind of about. For example, we're Syracuse here, and I'll show you the opposite example here. And let's go over to the prospect list. This is a brand new dynasty I just made, and all we're going to do is just sort by the guys interested in us, 3-star or up, because you're probably never going to go after a 2-star player, at least not as a solid program. And we're Syracuse here, which is a 3-star team. And let's sort by, like I said, all of the 3, 4, and 5-star players that have us in their top 10. And why is this important? It's important because it makes recruiting so much easier. The video I dropped the other day, I kind of showed you guys how to get 5 and 4 stars, and that is better for like going at the guys that's not interested in you. But you have to convince those guys to come to your program. You want guys to be interested in you because you could get this recruitment, you could win this recruitment so much easier. So let's just sort by 4 stars first, man. You see so many 4 stars have us as the #1 school. I mean, out of state guys. It's not even, it's one thing if it's pipeline kids. We have an Arizona kid have us as the #1 school. We have no pipeline in Arizona. Arkansas. You see here, man, like a lot of guys out of state are just interested in this Syracuse program. Why? And it's not because they have great pipelines, because you see here, we have players with no pipeline boost that want to come to Syracuse very badly. Matter of fact, we're their top choice. Like a guy like this, we're going to get this guy. We're the top school. You do have Clemson and Penn State in there, but that's a recruitment I feel very comfortable about winning. Now go down, you'll continue to see a lot of 4 stars have us as their #1 or top 10 program is what we should be saying here. So many players, 20, 30, 40 maybe, without counting. Y'all see how long we just scrolled for. Now we get down to the 3 stars. We also have a good amount of 3 stars that have us as their #1 or just top 10. That's all that really matters. Being in a guy top 10 week 1, whether you're #2 or #10 on that list, it honestly don't matter. As long as you're in their top 10 to start off, that's usually what matters the most. So we have a good amount of 3 stars. It seems like we got more 4 stars than 3 stars that start off interested in us, which is interesting. And you come over here under our name, Syracuse, we're a 3-star program. We have solid grades across the board, and we have so many players interested. Let me show you the opposite of that, man. So same exact save file. I don't want to do anything different. We're just going to go over to a different coach. You see, we're in the 2025 season. And let's first go to Kansas State, man. Because earlier in the year, I first discovered this with Kansas State. So let's sort by, let's go to the recruiting, add prospects, and we're going to do the same thing, just sort by players interested in us. Also, Kansas State is a 3.5 star team, so they're half a star better than Syracuse, right? Okay, so let's go ahead and 3-star minimum, and then also top 10 interested, and we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 players. Is that not absolutely broken? Like, I mean, if you're Kansas State, if you're doing a rebuild with Kansas State, like this is going to affect your dynasty tremendously. It's like recruiting is 10 times harder with Kansas State, and it shouldn't be. Like, why is it 10 times harder? You could obviously bring in a good recruiting class because you're still able to identify guys that's going to be under recruited and bring them in. The video I covered the other day, like you still could do that, but you're going to have a much more challenging time convincing guys rather than if you just have guys in your top 10. Because if you have guys in your top 10, you could just scout them all, see who's good, and then just pursue those 4-star players, and you already know you're going to have a good chance to get them. And we literally have 6 total players, 2 5-stars. We'll take that. But damn, not even to mention, we don't have 1 3-star player interested. Yes, we're at recommended. If we come over here to any state, same exact thing, man. I believe earlier in the year, y'all was like, oh, you're under recommended. Don't know. These are all the players. We're under any state. It should be every, 3-star or up player interested in us. They should be on that board, and they're just not. We don't have anyone, and it's weird. I don't know why it's like this, but we could look at my school and look at our grades. 3.5-star. The only grade that's bad here is academic prestige, which can never change. But we have solid grades. We're also a ranked program. I'm not saying we should be, Alabama or Georgia, but there's no way we only have, a few guys interested. And let's just sort by everyone. We're not even going to change this minimum star ranking. Let's just do top 10. All the players in the nation that got us in their top 10. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 2 stars. And then other than that, nobody wants to come to Kansas State. Nobody. Not one player wants to come to Kansas State. That makes no sense, man. And I'm going to show y'all another example. I don't even think I want to cut. I'm going to show y'all another example with Kansas State. Let's come over here to a different save file. I promise you, I only made, or not a different save file, a different dynasty. I made 2 dynasties total. Let's come over here to this other one. And this one, I didn't create other coaches, so it's just Kansas State. And this one was an online dynasty, so I couldn't even make other coaches. And let's just look here. We're going to do the same exact thing. Come over here to the prospect list, and we'll do all players. We won't even do, minimum star ranking and top 10 interested in us. And you'll see here 4 stars and 5 stars. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. A little bit better. Maybe I counted wrong. Might be 8. Yes, it is 8, not 9. 8 4 and 5-star players are interested in us. That's horrible. We have no 3-stars that want to come to Kansas State. We do have a few 2-stars. That's absolutely terrible, man. And it's like, understand, we're in Kansas. Maybe not the best state for recruiting, but it shouldn't be this bad. Especially when we seen Syracuse, how many players had them number 1. Like, they had double-digit 4-stars that had them as the number 1 program, and we don't even have double-digit 4-stars, 3-stars, and 5-stars combined interested in our program, man. It makes no sense. And there's other teams like this as well. And I think the unfortunate thing is you go ahead, hop into your dynasty, you're playing your dynasty, and you don't even notice this. Like, you would just play your dynasty, and you might not even notice that your team is cooked or your recruiting is cooked, and it's not your fault. And I want to show you another program. We'll go over here to Houston. It's the same story with this Houston program as well, man. They just don't have guys interested. And come over here to the recruiting board. We're going to do the same exact thing. Prospect list, press triangle. Come over here to, let's do 3 stars and above, because realistically, that's what you want to bring in as a Houston program, which is a 3-star. And we have 3, 6, 7. Come on, man. What are we doing here, man? We have 1 3-star player interested finally. And then we have, come on, man. This is bad. And like I said, it was in the game. It's been in the game since the beginning of the year. And I honestly forgot about this until recently. I'm like, let me make a video really talking about this, because I feel like it's not mentioned enough. And this needs to be fixed. Like, this is, I don't want to say it's game breaking, because it's really not. But if I want to go do a Houston rebuild, I'm automatically not going to do it, because I know it's messed up. I know it doesn't really work. So I'm just not going to go do a Houston rebuild when I know it's going to look like this. So let's go over to another. Hold on. I want to make sure I show y'all their 3-star program. So, yep, 3-star program, just like the first team we looked at. And let's go over to Baylor, who I believe is also a 3-star program. And I think there's going to be a little bit better here. Let's come over to our prospect list. I also didn't make a head coach. All of these are the current head coach on the roster. So first, let's look at the My School grades, and you'll see here, yep, 3.5 star. Okay, 3.5 star program. Also have a bad grade for coach stability. but I bet you they're going to have a much better recruiting class. And I wanted to do another Texas team because Houston, obviously in Texas, a team that should have 3 stars interested. If you want to argue they shouldn't have 4 stars, I hear that. But they should have a lot of 3 stars interested. For them to only have 1 makes no sense. So let's go over here to the 3 stars or above, top 10 interested like we usually do. And let's sort. And we have a bunch. We have a 4-star player, and then we have a bunch of 3 stars, a buttload of 3 stars, and then a buttload is crazy. I don't know where I learned that verbiage. I never said that before in my life. And then we have a bunch of 3 stars here as well. Point is, like, I don't know what's going on. I don't know why it's like that for some of these programs when, in my opinion, it shouldn't be. Like, I don't know. And fixing it this year maybe that's unrealistic because we have not halfway through the year, but we're so far along that this issue might just be bigger than a simple hot fix. I'm sure it is. So hopefully in the next year game, this will be addressed because I believe this was in last year game, but we were just so hyped for college football to be back. We probably didn't notice it. And then I also noticed the same thing happens in the transfer portal, man. So like certain teams, I think Colorado is one of these programs where you hit the transfer portal, they just don't have guys interested. For one reason or another, they just don't. The high school recruiting is fine. The transfer portal, it's not good. Like you don't have guys interested. Now, fortunately, they made it so you have a lot of guys that start off in the open recruitment stage. So that makes it a lot easier to bring in transfers, for a team like Colorado. But you see the amount of 4 stars Colorado have interested. Oh my, like we're still scrolling and it's so many 4-star players. Get to the 3 stars, so many 3-star players. And you have some teams that just have none. And it's unfortunate. I do want to sim to the end of the year. I'm going to put all the recruiting on. Matter of fact, I'm going to retire all of our coaches but Colorado. And we're going to see what type recruiting class they bring in and at the end of the year. So we retire all of our coaches, and that head coach is still going to be there. I don't want to make it seem like they're actually retired. We just don't have control over that program anymore. We're going to put all the recruiting on for this Colorado team. And I know they're going to do horrible, man. All the recruiting is terrible for rosters when you're using them. I don't know why. It's absolutely terrible, man. All the recruiting does so much worse when you're using the team rather than if you just let the CPU sim and take care of business. And maybe I should do some testing with that. Nobody probably even use all the recruiting, but for situations like this, I will. And Colorado here, we're probably going to bring in a horrible recruiting class, I said, because I don't know what's going on all the recruiting when you have the roster taken control of. So we sim to the transfer portal here. We went 8-5 during the regular season, which is a pretty solid year for Colorado. And look how many commits we have. 2, 3. I'm telling you, bro, the CPU be trolling when you have all the recruiting on. But I do want to show you the transfer portal and kind of what I was saying with Colorado and how it could be not great. So here we do have a good amount of 4 stars interested, and we have no 3 stars in the portal interested. But we had a solid season. Sometimes you will have a bad year with Colorado, and you will really suffer from, like, we wouldn't be able to bring anyone in. And all these guys are receivers and DBs. And a quarterback here, which is useful. But nothing but receivers and DBs are interested in this program. Maybe you should say that should be the case. Nobody want to go to Colorado, whatever. Come on, man. What are we doing? Have some 3 stars or something interesting in the program. Luckily, you can now convince guys to come to your program. That is a thing. But what are we doing? National Signing Day. Let's see how our team did. Let's just see, man. Let's go down. I just want to just go to the worst teams because we know we're going to be down there. Look at Houston signing number 30th class. I imagine they went pretty crazy in the portal. Let's look at transfer portal stuff. How many transfers did Houston end up getting? We could go look at their roster to see what they end up doing. So 7 transfers, 3 4 stars, 4 3 stars. But they actually signed a pretty solid class. For them to not have any guys interested to start the year, that's pretty solid. I'm not going to lie. That's pretty good. Now, Kansas State, where are you guys at? Maybe I went past them here, but I don't think so. Colorado, we're at 118. And that's what all the recruiting just stinks, man. We signed 8 players. Like, why is all the recruiting worse than actual recruiting. And Kansas, 6 players. Wow. My face cam is covering it. 6 players for Kansas State. We didn't have control of this team. They have their head coach. 6 players, y'all. That is nuts. That's not insane. That is insane, man. For them to sign 6 players, they signed 2 transfers, but you kind of see like how some teams suffer. You know, Houston, not as bad. 30 could work with that. You know, Baylor here, they're up there with Baylor, and Baylor had a lot of players interested in them compared to Houston, but signing number 6 class is absolutely insane. And then you have Syracuse pulling the 109th class. How? How did they get no 4 stars? Yo, now I gotta turn the face cam back on. How did they get none of them 4 stars? Remember, they had all of those 4 stars interested in them to start the year, and they don't walk away with 1? I don't know what's going on here, man. But this was meant to be a quicker video, man. If y'all enjoyed the content, like, comment, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate y'all boys, and we on to the next one.